Think we're live now, so welcome ladies to the first online workshop. So I'll just get a little bit started with moving it down. So just bear with. Ooh. I still gotcha. I hit the off button. That's no good. Need 3 pairs of hands. Okay. I think we need to go up a bit more. I think that's about right. And I'll just log in to the event in case people want to talk to me. Okay. Hi, Anne. Gosh, I can tell you the last hour has just flown by, and I've just knocked over all my Oxide inks. That's what the crash was. Okay. Yes, the last hour has just flown by, but we're here, and it's certainly live. Now, I don't, outrightly, I am not a professional at de-stressed Oxide inks, and it's a matter of just playing with them. But they open a realm of possibilities. So I'm just going to show you some of the things that that you can do with them. So we're going to start out. The 4 colours that I've got are the seedless preserves, the picked raspberries, the peel paint, and the mowed lawn. So with the oxides, they move very well. I don't know what the technical side of it is, but they blend really well. So I ended up buying just reading a comment, and I bought 4 of these. They come in a set of 2. Because 2 just isn't enough, particularly if you're using 3 colours. You're constantly changing out the pads, because they come with lots of pads in them. I can find it quickly. Just here, you can buy a set of 20 applicators, and the actual blending tool, you get 2 and a couple of extras of the blending foams. So it's always good to have one for each colour. And then I actually bought these from Shiploads, because for me, I've seen the way that different people store them, and this works for me, so it's whatever works for you. But each little container, I store the little foam pad in, and then it just makes it really easy to push it on, and you're not getting your hands dirty. You do need to dedicate 1 blending foam per colour. Then that just saves sort of mixing the colours on the actual stamp pad. So it just makes it really easy. And then they just sit in there while I'm not using them. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is we're going to just colour up some plain white cardstock. Now the thing is, you can't be too overly pedantic about it, because some of the blending might look a bit messy, but it's the finished project that what you're after. So you've sort of got to get past the, oh, it's not very neat look. And you don't need to really rub it really hard because it just goes on really well and the coverage is brilliant. Can you just see that? I just love them. It's just opened a real, you know, a world of possibilities. So where am I going with this? I'm not quite sure. And that's the beauty of the Oxide inks. There's no one, it's very hard to say, oh, well, I really like that and I'll replicate it, because sometimes it's, you just can't replicate what you've just done. And there's no real mistakes. So I might just put a bit of the, so do you get what I mean? It looks sort of messy at the moment. And now I'm just going to flick this around and we're just going to do the, just the green at the bottom. Now the thing that you do have to be careful is when you touch it, you will leave fingerprints. It doesn't rub off, but you do leave fingerprints. So, you know, if you need to, you know, hold some paper on there just to make it so it doesn't move around. And with this, with your don't cut your card down to size. So if you want a 5 1/4 by 6, 5 1/4 by 4 matte, don't cut your cardstock down to that size to begin with. Always make it bigger, and then that gets, you're able to trim off the edge where there might be some white or it's darker that you don't want it. Might add a bit of green down here. So it doesn't look great, but this is what I'm going to do now is, I should have grabbed more scrap paper, just bear with me. Just to put underneath. Now when you stamp onto the distressed oxide, because it's reactive to liquid, water, it goes pale. Now to explain that without having to stamp, here's a good example. So when I did up my labels, I'll just see if I can hold it up, yeah. And then I wrote with just a Sharpie marking pen. It's not as bright a black. It's gone almost like a dark grey or a charcoal colour, and that's because of the moisture in the Sharpie pen has reacted to the Oxide ink. So if you're wanting a very black colour, you need to emboss it to get that sharp colour. So I'm using the intense black just because it's a little bit wetter than the normal black. And I'm going to, now this is an old stamp set, but I thought it would look quite well. So I'm just using clear embossing powder. before that dries, I just want to get some embossing powder on it. And I should have, I'll do it for the green, should have used my powder pouch. Which I put somewhere. Here we go. It's an anti-static pouch. And that way the embossing powder is not going to stick to the background colour. And then I've just got some leaves. Trying to be a bit quick. Just going to use my heat gun away from the sound of the camera. Hope you had a good start to the weekend. Looks like it's a beautiful day outside. Right, move this out of the way. So, well, you can't see the effect just yet. Just clean these up first. I love these chamois. They are awesome. Okay, now I did grab the thin cuts so you didn't have to painstakingly watch me hand cut, but rather than moving it all the time, I'll just do it off camera. So I don't know if it comes up well on the camera. We'll lift it up in a moment, but you get like the two-toned look. Just quickly do the flowers. But I've certainly, there's just so many options with the Oxide. And there's lots of YouTube clips if you wanted to click on them and see the multitude of techniques. I just spun my die around. Not perfect, but you'll get the idea. So if you haven't clicked going on this event, you won't be able to watch any of these videos back later. I don't know how much I can stress that. People just think by clicking interested they will be able to watch it, but it actually has to be, you have to be going to be able to click and and watch it back later. Okay, so I'm not going to stick them on the card because you don't need to see me how to make a card, but you can see on the white that you've got that two-tone effect because we use two colours, and that way you can, you know, it hasn't been two different cardstocks but different colours. You know, you could place it out a little bit more to see the lighter colour, but you get the drift. So that's one way of doing it. Now the other, get some paper back. So we might use some different colours, the ones that all fell on the floor. So we'll change these around. So then I just carefully sort of just pinch it off that way, because these are stuck on with a heavy duty staple, so they won't come off, and then it's just a matter of popping them back in your jar. Okay, your fingers do get a little bit dirty, but hey, that's crafting, isn't it? If it's a big concern, you could probably wear rubber gloves, but again, you've got to be able to work with it, and I'm a very touchy-feely type of person. Hi Bev, how are you? Okay, let's just move all that out of the way. And I've labelled mine on the side, just two ends, that way it doesn't matter which way the lid goes on, you're able to sort of see. I guess you could do it on all four sides. So we'll go with a bit of spiced marmalade and some candy apple and mustard seed. That out of the way. Oops, I didn't get that on very well. So you can see how easy it is to just grab them up. And then candy apple. So again, we're just sort of rubbing it on. I'm just getting colour on at the moment, and then we can go back and finesse it a bit. Make that a bit bigger. A bit of orange there. Down the bottom, do a bit of red up there, back with some mustard. So the more that you go over it, the brighter it is. And this is where it's moving in. It might not look it, but it is. Take my word for it. So even the lighter colour, putting it on, it just goes over on top of the darker colour. Down here. A bit brighter in the middle. And it's the type of thing you could just keep going and going, and you think, I don't know. But what I wanted to show you was that I actually used the heart die cut, thin cut, and this is where the magic happens. So while this looks a bit, I don't know if I like it, as soon as you put that on, it just changes it completely. And you've got, you know, hearts that are, you know, three-toned and things like that. It just looks gorgeous. So that's another way you can use it, have it underneath. We've got a myriad of different of the larger die cuts that you can put over them. And likewise, you can use that and cut your die cut. So I have done one earlier, and that was using the new diagonal stripe thin line, what's it called? Diagonal stripe slim line die cut. And so I coloured up my paper just like that. And then when I cut it out, it's come like this, which is absolutely gorgeous. Let me put it on a black background. I haven't finished this card. Now, this one, the bow that I use, that's the small die set of the two bows. It's the small one. And I used the distressed Oxide because I wanted it to match perfectly with one of the colours. It's Peacock Feathers, and so I coloured my white cardstock up, and then on the other side of where the actual bow is, so they're the tails, I did coloured the back as well. So then when you do your ribbon up, it's got the peacock colour inside as well. And then the other things that you can do, we've got the stencils, which I didn't pull out, did I? No, not quite sure where I put them. But we've got a whole stack of different stencils, and you just lay it over, and you know, you can do one colour, or I've done the three colours here. I've used the same colours, although I think this is the abandoned coral colour down here. There's that. And the other thing I want to show you is that because they react with water, this is where you can get this effect. So again, particularly people that like everything to be neat, the messy way that this is, people might not like it, but it is a great way to just get texture to your cardstock, and it's just quite easy. It does now, because you're adding water, it does ripple, so if you don't want that, just adhere it to your mat first. This is the multi-purpose mat. You can just sort of put a bit of tape runner and hold it down, and then it won't warp, or you can iron it afterwards. Just looking. So I've just used an old the spritz bottle, and I've just put water in, and you have some paper towel handy, and it just reacts beautifully. So you, depending on what you look, so with the big blobs, I actually sprayed it into my fingers just to get that big, didn't spray enough, so you get the big drops. That way you control it a bit more. But if you want the spray, and you can see that it's moving, the colour's moving, or if you want a lighter spray, just spray it from a distance. But what you do is you get your paper towel and you just put it on the paper to soak up that water, and you can see that it's lifted the colour, and you can keep going back. You think, oh no, I want a bit more of the lighter spray, so oh, that was a lot. So there we go. See, and the fine mist has taken it, lifted it off, so it's made it a more muted tone. But certainly I find I like the bigger drops. So it just gives you that effect as well. And then again, you can put your cutout over the top for that effect as well. Now I'll show you another technique before I move on to something else. So like with these, you know, we coloured the paper up and then we stamped on it and cut it out. We can also use it, I'll use this one because it's dry. Actually, we might colour it up again. Paper. And I think we'll just for ease use these colours. So sort of just go in a bit of a rainbow effect. Do the abandoned coral. And then we'll put some candy apple on the end. So then we'll just blending it to sort of give it that rainbow effect. And then I'm going to use a die cut. Let's see if I did it big enough. I'll just add a bit more of the marmalade. There, and bring the red in a bit more. And then I'm going to just cut that out. this away. And then you've got a beautiful word cutout. Just, oops, move it over there. And then this particular set had another die that went on top. So I can line it up without it sticking. But you get the idea. There's my card base back. So you got that effect, and then another, what you can do is you can leave it like that and just get this one. You'll just get some white cardstock. So basically you can, you know, do it to anything really. Quickly cut that out. I'm not going to leave any white edge to it. And you could add something like that to your card. So there's just so many options. I'll show you a couple more, just keeping an eye on the time. So get our paper back again. And okay, let's use some different colours. We'll use sapphire and the peacock. And by keeping the little containers out, then it just makes it just that much easier. Well, that's what I find anyway. That one there. And I do want black soot as well. So we'll put that there. Got a bit of a mess on my desk now. Okay, and I think we might even, I'll just use spice marmalade since it's out. Okay, so we're going to start with the peacock feathers. So again, I'm just doing random spots. Put a bit on there. And again, you can go back. There, put blue there, and might make that a bit bigger, I think. Where am I going with this? You will see. Again, don't be frightened, just play with them and see what they're capable of doing. See, now I'm doing the wrong thing because I'm touching it, but just trying to be a little bit quick for you. Okay, I think what I might do is, okay, I'm going to use might use the leaves, I think. And I'm going to use the Versamark clear embossing ink. Didn't wipe that very well, did I? And then I'm just going to randomly stamp over the page. And yes, I should have used the powder. So just get this on here first, and then I'll powder the rest up. So this is clear embossing powder. And you can see it has stuck to, because I didn't powder it up. So when I emboss it, you will notice, you'll see what's happened. Where's my leaves? Just turn it a different way. This way. Probably can't see it very well because of the clear colour, but you will see it soon. Okay, so the left side probably won't work as well. I will just heat emboss this. And you'll see the mistake by having the excess embossing powder on, what will happen because of it. What? Okay. Turn that over. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. That looks pretty good. So you can see the clear embossing. But what I'm actually going to do now is just want to make sure that that heat embossing is completely dry. I'm going to use the, what's it called? Black soot. And I'm now going to go over the complete cardstock. And go over it all. And again, you know, the more ink you use, the darker it gets. I'm going to turn this around. So you can see I'm not pressing really hard in the ink pad, just really tapping it on there. It's just great coverage. And the daubers that we had, we always had the challenge of it, you know, leaving the circles, and this doesn't do that. Just get a bit more black on. And you can see which side was the powdered side. Okay, and then I'm going to get a paper towel and I'm going to wipe, and that takes any of the excess of the black soot off the embossed embossing that we did, and it just comes through. So you can see that this side looks dark, but as soon as I rub it off, it comes brighter. And I don't know if it's correct in the technique name, but it's the Technicolor coat color. So you're revealing the color underneath that you've done. I love that. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then the last technique that I want to show you is, let's get this off. Make a bit of space. Okay, and this is where the multi-purpose mat comes into play, because it's I guess it's plastic, and you can wipe it down. But it's called the smooshing, I think it's the smooshing technique, and you'll get what I mean. So I'm just going to put these back in their retrospective spots. And we might use the favourite colours again. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn them upside down and just rub them straight on, put a bit more on that, onto the mat. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to add some water, and you can see it bead up. The more water the better. I'll add a bit more. So you can see that it's beading up. And you get your cardstock and you just dab it on. And by moving it around, you pick up the different colours. You can see where you haven't been. Here. And it gives you, I'll just finish because I like it to be complete. And you can see how it's rolled. Now I'm just using normal white cardstock. It wouldn't have as much as a roll if you use the watercolor paper, but just for ease. And you could actually have it, you know, if you wanted it taped onto something harder, and use it that way. But hey, look, it flattens out once it dries. I've done one like this and it's not too bad. Once you'd heat it down, it will be fine. And you can keep adding more colour. So I might put a bit of candy apple. Am I still in shot? Yeah. Over here. And might add some just on the edge, I think. There. And then all I do is use a baby wipe, clean it up. I sort of went a bit crazy. Super clean, easy to clean up. And you've got your smushy looking paper. Now I might just try and dry this a little bit. So you can see as I dry it, it's curling a little bit. And because I'm trying to do it in a hurry. That will do. You don't want to listen to that awful sound. Okay. So what I am going to do is just for, what did I do with my tape runner? I am just going to stick it to my mat a little bit. It's just going to help me stamp. Now I am going to use the March stamp of the month. And because I want this to look quite bright, I'm going to emboss it. And we need this. And we're just going to stamp it there. This is where if you waited for things to dry, it would be a little bit easier, but you get the drift anyway. So just emboss that up. Not a perfect job, but you'll get the idea. So, and all I'm going to do is really quickly fussy cut out. what I'm going to do is be super rough so I can finish this later, because I would just want to show you one more thing. So gives you a really cool effect with that. So working on the same scenario as what we did with this card, what we can do is, if we stamp our butterfly, yeah, I've got the writing. On here. And we emboss it up. And I didn't powder it again. I don't know how well I've embossed that, but you can actually do the reverse. So, you know, just come in and go over it that way, and because you've embossed it, you will get, lost my butterfly already. Gosh, I'll find it after I say goodbye to you. But yes, you can just do it in reverse that way. Put a bit of blue in there. I'm just using what I've got. No, I don't want black. Blue. So it just gives you just the reverse, that you've already embossed it, and the Oxide inks won't react to the black and make it lighter. Here it is. So it's just the reverse way then. And then you just fussy cut it out. So you've got the same effect. But look, I've only just scratched the surface with different techniques. Like I said, there's just so many possibilities in what you can do, and it just adds that new dimension to coloured background paper or coloured images. I think it's just super cool. I just love, yeah, the possibilities, what you can do. So I hope you have enjoyed a little glimpse of the distressed oxides. If there's something that I've used and you think, hey, can't find it in the catalogue, or where's that, or how much is that, just put a comment in the comments, and I will read them again shortly. And we will see you again at 12 o'clock. So have a good morning, ladies, and we will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.